Howdy partners, it's your buddy John here, and welcome to a special new little mini-series here of In the Kitchen for Christmas this year. I'm going to be doing several episodes here during December of Christmas cookies here on this little series here. I'm actually going to be trying to get back to In the Kitchen hopefully by the start of next year. I've got something special in mind. I had to end the last season after 3 episodes, but I'm going to get back into it, guys. I have something special in mind. Hopefully you guys enjoy this little mini-series though here to start with. Today I'm going to be making some hot chocolate sugar cookies, so a little bit of something different. I don't think I've ever made something like this before, so hopefully this turns out great. Right, something's missing here. You know what it is? We need the appropriate costume. Be right back. There we go, that's much better. All festive and stuff. Just the finishing touch. There we go. So with a few exceptions, what you're going to need for this recipe is going to be pretty similar to what you'll find in a sugar cookie, with the exception of some hot chocolate mix. But anyway, what you're going to need is 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 packs of hot chocolate mix, 1 cup of all vegetable shortening. I used actually 1 baking stick of it here. I can't remember what was the name of the brand I used. I don't know if it's something just limited to that brand, but I'm starting to ramble here. Right, 1 cup of sugar, 1 large egg, 2 tablespoons of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 2 cups of miniature marshmallows. At this point, you're going to want to go ahead and set the oven. So go ahead and preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be 77 degrees Celsius. I can't even math. At this point, it's time to start mixing things together. So we're going to go ahead and throw in the shortening and the sugar together. I'm going to go ahead and blend those together, get that going. It'll probably take about 5 minutes, I think, of blending to get to the right consistency. I should probably invest in a standalone, what do they call it, a standalone mixer? I don't know, just using this handheld mixer, I don't know, it just seems to take a little bit longer. I don't know. Also, I just realized that I used the wrong size bowl, so mistakes were made this time as well. That seems to be a consistent trend in this series. Almost every episode of In the Kitchen, I make some kind of mistake like this. Now it's time to go ahead and add the egg, milk, and vanilla together here. I'm going ahead and just broke the egg open in a separate bowl there, just to avoid getting any eggshell in it. So we're going to go ahead and add that into the bowl there with the shortening and sugar mix. Then the milk. And finally, the vanilla. Alright, now just go ahead and mix that all up together there. Get that all blended together nicely. Alright, just keep blending until you get a mixture that looks something like this here. Not too thick, not too liquidy. Now it's time to mix together the dry ingredients. So I'm going to go ahead and start by dumping the flour into the bowl there. You're going to use a separate bowl here. Don't mix them all together just yet. Then moving on to the cocoa powder. Get that mixed in as well. Then the hot chocolate mix. Next ingredient is the salt, so go ahead and add that in as well. And finally, the baking powder. After all the dry ingredients are together, you're going to go ahead and just mix them together, make sure there's a good blend there. Don't want to have like too much of one thing separate from the rest of the mix. Now it's time to go ahead and start adding the dry ingredients to the rest of the mixer. You want to do it just a little bit at a time. Don't dump the whole thing in, because you're going to want to blend it together and just gradually add in the dry ingredients. Just don't dump the whole thing in at once. Now the dough should be somewhat dry compared to like other cookie dough, but you don't want it too dry. If you think it's losing too much moisture, you can go ahead and just add in a little extra milk here and there, but don't go overboard. You don't want a whole lot in there. At this point, the mixture should look something somewhat like this. You don't want a whole lot of moisture in it. It needs to be kind of powdery. Now it's time to go ahead and add in the marshmallows. Now we're going to go ahead and mix the marshmallows into the rest of the mix there. We want to have a pretty decent spread throughout the cookie mix. Place a sheet of parchment paper onto the cookie pan you're going to be using and start putting the cookie dough down. What you're going to do is you're going to take about a handful, maybe a little less than a handful, but you're going to try to basically form little balls here with the cookie dough. Make sure you got some of the marshmallows in with it. Now the only thing left to do is to put them into the oven. Go ahead and put them in there for about 15 minutes. 15 minutes worked pretty well. Just keep an eye on them. If the you don't want the marshmallows to brown too much. But anyway, after about 15 minutes, you should end up... Oh, we gotta have some milk there for Santa. After 15 minutes, the cookie should end up looking something like this here. I had to go all out, find the most festive stuff I could find here for the decorations. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the first episode of this little Christmas mini-series of In the Kitchen. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to click like and subscribe. Much appreciated. It really helps me out. Don't forget down below if you're interested in donating to St. Jude's Hospital. Link to the donation site is down in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye!